Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000 here, also known as Dan2Times15 on Xbox Live, and I'm back again for another review, and it's time for the Summerslam review, the biggest party of the summer. And just a side note here, for wrestling fans alike, before I get onto the review, you saw my last video when I told you that my 2K22 has been deleted, but I have started over and I'm starting to make the championships arenas again. So the next video that you'll see after this will be a Monday Night Raw, followed up by a SmackDown, then Extreme Rules. I will give you every single thing as best as I can until I get my actual proper universe mode up and working, and I will have a pay-per-view for you guys coming soon. But speaking of pay-per-views, now I can get down to business. It's time for me to review SummerSlam. Here we go. It was a big SummerSlam. 2 thumbs up to me, 5 stars. I loved every single match. It was a barn burner, and it was probably a burner in Nashville too when it comes to the heat. I'm sweating already just thinking about it because of the heat wave that's been happening in the UK. I'm so excited. I'm just going to go out there and give you the results and what I thought of the matches one by one, from match 1 to the main event. The first matchup of the night was the Raw Women's Championship match, as Bianca Belair went one-on-one with Becky Lynch, and she successfully retained her Raw Women's Championship. And then after the match, she shook hands with Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch, and now officially now a babyface again. You gotta love to see it. And then whose music hit? No other than Bayley's music. She returned and she wasn't alone, oh no. We had another theme music hit, and it was a Rio Shirai. I'm sorry, Dakota Kai came out. Then out came a Rio Shirai. Oh my god, Bayley's got a brand new stable, and they're going to be going after Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. I think I should imagine we're going to see a big matchup right there on Monday Night Raw. Tag team action, I can see it now. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch squaring off against those 3, and then I think Bayley's not going to be quite ready yet to wrestle, but I think it'll be Rio Shirai and Dakota Kai versus Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. Straight into the deep end for those guys from NXT. I gotta give them credit for that. Great matchup overall. I love the ending, especially with that big old move where Bianca Belair hits the big massive KOD for the victory. Wonderful matchup. I'm gonna now go on to the match number 2. That was probably the only disappointing matchup of the entire night. It was The Miz versus Logan Paul, and Logan Paul picked up the victory by hitting the skull-crushing finale after both Tommaso Ciampa and Maurice got involved. Tommaso Ciampa refused to get escorted back to the ring, back to the backstage. AJ Styles got involved and took him backstage. Maurice got involved but failed. He almost got hit by The Miz. It was a chaotic one skull crushing finale later. Logan Paul 1, 2, 3 beats The Miz. I don't care about the interactions from outside. I'm too hyped up and hot to be bothered about that. As we go on to the next match, as it was the United States Champion Bobby Lashley against Fury, and Fury did the smart thing eventually, and he was going to take his money in the bank briefcase and go, you know what, I'm saving this for another day. But Bobby Lashley chucked him back in the ring. He almost got caught by Fury, but then did this gorilla press slam into the hurt lock, and straight away Bobby Lashley, straight away managed to make Fury tap out, but I think Fury tapped out like a little bit quickly so that he could recuperate, ready for when the main event came for that last man standing match. And speaking of big matches, and of course we saw Bayley return earlier on the night, and we saw another return happen during the Rey Mysterio and Judgment Day no disqualification matchup. Surprisingly, it wasn't a tornado tag. It would have made much more better sense. there wasn't that much bending of the rules, like maybe just like a chair shot and maybe some illegal tag maneuvers that would have been illegal, but it wasn't. And it was Finn Balor that, in the end, who he was like, okay, Rey Mysterio's down, Rhea, get me a chair. Then we hear this hyped up remixed version of the Brood. Out from these flaming steps comes the returning Edge, and I knew it was Edge all along. It wasn't going to be Bray Wyatt, let's face it. I thought it might have been at one point, but no, we all knew it was Edge returning, and he had the red jacket, and it looked like those demon red things on his shirt, and it looked like he was another demon slayer or something, I don't know, something on those lines. That's his new gimmick, and I love it. He gave a spear to Damian Priest, he gave a spear to Finn Balor. He dropped toe hold Finn Balor into the middle rope. 619, 1, 2, 3. The Mysterios picking up the victory against the Judgment Day. With Edge looking on like to thinking, like, were you going to do something? No, Edge celebrated with the Mysterios, but then this rivalry is not over just yet. And speaking of rivalries that are probably not over, oh my God, as we saw Pat McAfee go one-on-one with Happy Corbin, and it was a fun, okay-ish matchup. Again, I would have been happy either way. Of course, Charles Robinson, the man that was refereeing the matchup, he took a spill, he got knocked out by a Happy Corbin, and of course, that meant that, lining up the old boom! Low blow from Revenge, from SmackDown, from Pat McAfee. Then, because the referee did see it, and he then hits this really dodgy looking sunset flip, and Happy Corbin landed on his head. But 1, 2, 3, there we go. Victory goes to Pat McAfee. Then we have an interesting matchup between Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan defending her SmackDown Women's Championship. Right after a Charlotte Flair promo of showing off Charlotte Flair. I feel like she's going to return soon. But I thought when Ronda Rousey came out onto the hill, here comes the new champion. And I was thinking maybe at the end there might be some Riot Squad members come out and help her win. I was dead wrong about that because Ruby Soho's on AEW, and I don't know what Sarah Logan's doing now. I think she's busy being a mum to her baby alongside with her husband Eric from the Viking Raiders. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, Sarah Logan made an appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble this past January, but that was the last time we saw her. She didn't even last long in that. So, with that being said, but there was a bit of controversy. Once again, these referees have got to really focus on what they're doing. They're really doing some big storylines with the referees, and I'll get to them in the special guest referee match. Oh, which happened, by the way, actually, I stand correctly, before the Liv Morgan matchup. It was the Street Profits versus the Usos. I missed out that matchup. I'll go back to it now. And the Street Profits and Usos pulled off a match of the night next to the Last Man Standing match. Usos picked up the victory, but Jeff Jarrett called that match down the middle. Man, I have to give credit where credit is due. But going back to Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey now. Well, that match could have gone different. I will admit, as I'm going back to the dodgy referees again. We had the armbar locked in at the end by Ronda Rousey. I thought that was over. I thought she was going to tap. But then Liv Morgan got Ronda Rousey on her shoulders for the 1, 2, 3. I thought it was a clean victory, but of course then the announcers are like, oh, let's go and take another look at that. Oh yeah, she taps out as the referee's looking down for the 1, 2, 3 count. Smart thinking by Liv Morgan. She outsmarted Ronda Rousey. Technically, would I still count that as a babyface move? I'd say I'd like to think so. Think about what Eddie Guerrero used to do. He used to lie, cheat, and steal all the time. And here's the fact that Ronda Rousey went on a hissy fit and beat the shit out of the referee and was taking her rage out. on the officials. Is that a heel turn? I'd like to imagine so, and that you wouldn't see anyone else doing that and getting away with it. So, it's possibly Ronda Rousey being pissed that, yeah, she did make Liv Morgan tap out, but oh man, I feel sorry for Liv Morgan because I feel like this is not over yet, and I think the next match between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey is going to be a submission match at Extreme Rules. I think is the next one, or Crown Jewel. So I don't know. Something touch is going to happen there, and we may have a new SmackDown Women's Champion after that. But after they went backstage and everything was done, everything was ready for your boy Brock Lesnar to go one-on-one with the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, in a last man standing match. And oh boy, there was chaos everywhere. There was 2 tables. There was still steps being involved. There was an announced table break because freaking hell, like Paul Heyman went through an announced table. The Usos got involved because of course they did. And what made things better was that Brock Lesnar somehow managed to get someone to bring in a tractor that had one of these big, it was more like a bulldozer than it was a tractor, but it had one of those big red ones that had a Brock Lesnar logo on the side of it. It was hilariously great. As he's just to begin with, Brock Lesnar said, "Hey, shut the hell up, Mike Rome. It's my turn to announce who Roman Reigns' opponent is." And after he finished announcing himself, and Roman Reigns got his introduction. It was a Lou-Fest press off of the top of the goddamn scoop onto Roman Reigns, and that was hilarious. And that wasn't it from that tractor. Oh no. Brock Lesnar got that tractor, rammed it against the freaking ring, moving the ring like freaking an entire meter. God knows, and he lifted it up, and Roman Reigns fell out the goddamn ring. It was absolute chaos. On the end of the match, Brock Lesnar was down, Roman Reigns was down, and we heard this: A-Town down. I was like, oh God, no, please, no. Luckily, even though he attacked Roman Reigns with the briefcase, and I'll give him credit for that, he managed to take out Roman Reigns. But he forgot about Brock Lesnar, because even in the replay you hear him going, oh no! He gets that 5 for his troubles. And that's the last we'll see of Theory in the entire event. But Roman, he whacks freaking Brock Lesnar with not just the WWE Championship. That's still enough to keep him down. Brock's back up. You gets whacked with the Universal Championship. And he's like, come on Usos, help me bury this guy with everything he can freaking see. The remains of the announce table, freaking still steps, everything. And in the end, he's like standing there on top of the referee's 10 count. That's it. Roman Reigns is still WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion. And he's going to be facing Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, because Drew McIntyre beat Sheamus in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match this past week on SmackDown. Oh my God, I'm sweating in my room right now, so I'm gonna say, I hope you enjoyed SummerSlam. Things got heated, just like it is now in my room. And I want you to let me know, what did you think of SummerSlam? 5 stars for me, 2 thumbs up for me. As the next pay-per-view, I think, is, to be honest, they didn't even tell me what the next pay-per-view is. It is Clash at the Castle. Sorry, yeah, it is. Clash at the Castle is the next pay-per-view. I'm going to be making my predictions for that. And to be honest, I'd love to go to that. That's only in Wales. That's not too far from where I am. But hey, who knows? Whether I'm there live or whether I'm watching it the next day. Or I'm watching it live on the WWE Network, because as it goes on, that might actually be possible. So yeah, until next time, goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.